Welcome to another painting tutorial. This one we're going to look at the High Elf Swordmasters from the Island of Blood. This is a remaster with the new Citadel paints. I didn't actually repaint these. I'm just going through and showing you what I would have used if I had used the GW paints. So this is kind of a new format of video, but hopefully this helps you with the new paints. Okay, so here's what I would have used in the new range. So this is your basic blues for your cloaks, for your metal bits. I got all these things here. So lead belcher, Newland oil, ironbreaker, runefang. For the whites, which is really kind of a light gray, I'd be using these with only very little white on the actual white. For things like this is going to be sort of the staff on the banner, and any leather bits would be like that. Here's for your skin tones here. For the gems, that's what I would have used there, and some of this is going to be actually sort of the gold bits there, which is kind of a non-metallic gold, and then any sort of sword hilts. So let's look at that on individual guys here. So the armor, I would have started with that near the beginning, just because silver tends to get on everything else, and it's pretty prevalent on these models. So the blue hair and trim, I'm going to start off with the Kaldar Sky, give it a shade, and then highlight it up with those other blues. For the white cloth, as I mentioned, it's actually just mostly grays, and you can get away with doing very little white on it. For the skins, using those ones there, and because they're high elves, the skin tends to be quite light, so we're trying to keep the highlights covering most of the area. So the gold and the trim, so that's the bits on the hats here, as well as on the banner, and these things on the front of their cloaks there. Using those, now you'd probably want to use another color lighter here, so you can add either some white to that, or a light yellow mixed in with that, and that's just for the edge highlighting, and then tips of white tend to look nice with the non-metallic gold. For the gemstones, talking about Mephiston red there, and as well, so in a gemstone you're shading, well, you're starting with the darkest color, and then you're kind of highlighting the bottoms of it, so the lightest color is down here, and then you put a nice little white dot at the top, and it tends to look quite nice. For the hilts, so that's actually over here, not really much of that color, so that's just a kind of a burgundy-ish red. And wooden leather, so that's up here, as well as any sort of straps that might be on the backs of the guys, or that sort of thing, using those colors. And just walking through, so you can see I started out assembling and basing it all, and then I spray painted it. Where are we here? Okay, so looking around the guys. Okay, so then I spray painted a light gray, and you can see that kind of on the base, although it doesn't change much on here. Then I went through and I started painting the blues on there, and then I did the grays. So with these, I didn't quite paint the silvers on first. I painted a dark wash, and then I highlighted up from there. And now you can see the silvers coming through a bit. And again, some of these steps I just do to save time. It's not that they're better or get better results. It's just save some time on the painting table. Okay, so now you can see the blues are nicely highlighted, and the silvers are basically done. Now it's just getting in the rest of the model. I've got the grays base coated in there, and you can see how dark that actually is. Okay, so now this is the sort of the medium color and the non-metallic gold, and I'll be shading that with Agrax Earth Shade, and then touching up some of the shadows with the darkest color. Got the skin base coated. Not on that guy though. And you can see how things are coming along. Okay, got the skin base coated on there. And then shaded. I've got the skin highlighted now. I think I'm going to start working on the gray there. You can see the bases are dry brushed a little bit there. And getting pretty close now. So the gold has been shaded. These grays have started to highlight, and the skin is highlighted as well. Working on some of the golds there. Now you can see trying to work up some of the highlights on this banner here, so trying to blend these things as well as I can, kind of doing thin layers and building them up. Now you can see what the grays look like when they're all highlighted up. You don't have to be super detailed with that. As long as the colors are pretty close in each layer, they'll blend quite nicely. Doing up some of the non-metallics on that sword as well. That's just a bunch of grays there. And then doing up some more highlights on those gold bits. Now the gemstones, see how I mentioned there, so the lighter color at the bottom with a white dot near the top. And some detail on the eyes on this guy for the sergeant, or champion I guess it is. And then doing up a GW modular base for them on there, and we're all done. So these guys painted up pretty quickly. I did these when the original Island Blood set came out, and my goal was to try to get them all painted up as fast as possible. So nice high quality, I would say, for my own guys. Obviously higher than standard tabletop, but not going to win any big awards with these. Just more to look great as a unit on the table.